Moving on to something else now, and is it fair for a company to advertise jobs for women only if there's already too many men in the workforce? It's totes fair, says Queensland authorities, but is it just another kind of discrimination?
Even though women make up slightly more than half of the Australian population, in many industries, finding female workers is a bit like playing Where's Wally? In utilities, just 22.6% of the workforce are women. In mining, it's 15%. And less than 12% of construction employees are ladies.
The resource industry is a male-dominated industry, and resource employers are trying really hard to increase the workforce participation of females.
It's not just about gender equality. Increasing women's employment rates would boost the economy, help address skill shortages, and even improve customer satisfaction with businesses. Mining contractor AMMA EDI just got the OK under Queensland's Anti-Discrimination Act to advertise 50 women-only truck driving jobs a year.
So this can only be seen as a positive step for the resource industry and a positive step for females that are looking at a career in the resource industry as an attractive place to work.
Not everyone thinks gender-specific job ads are the right solution.
If you go in there and it's found out that you're hired only because you're female, you're already going to have all of your workmates offside.
Experts recommend a range of strategies to attract, recruit and retain female workers in male-dominated industries. They include things like paid parental leave and flexible hours, but it can be as simple as using more inclusive language in job ads. Affirmative action is controversial, so if you've got any ideas to improve the balance, let us know. We'll take suggestions from men and women.
Louise Perrin-Fisk is the Managing Director of AMMA, a consulting firm which helps companies attract women. Louise, women-only jobs, is that discrimination?
I think if I had to say one thing to open, we'd really want to move away from this male versus female idea. It's really not about it being competitive. So if you look at, say, truck drivers more generally across road freight, you know, there's less than 9% women in that industry generally. You know, the research tells us that over many years, 30 years, very little has changed, and so you can see why organisations like AMMA EDI have come out today and said we want to be a major interrupter and we want to do something a little bit different.
So you've got a lot of experience in this area. What's something that you've done with an organisation that has attracted more female employers?
One that comes immediately to mind would be an organisation that most of us would be aware of in Australia, Trans-Pacific Industries. At senior roles, they've moved in a year from 14% to 20%, which is a massive, massive change. And most recently, they're on the same path as AMMA EDI in that they're looking for female drivers, and you know, they've attracted young women that have never seen this industry before. One in particular that I know is 21 and she wouldn't be anywhere else. She just loves driving a truck in Brisbane.
And Louise, achieving diversity ad can be as simple as just changing the wording of a job ad.
Yeah, it can be, but remembering that we need to put that cultural change behind it. So, you know, one example of a business that did that well is a company called Russell's Transport. I mean, 3 weeks ago they had no women working in operational roles, and they attracted in 24 hours 150 applicants. A third were women. And they now have their first 4 female drivers on the road on the Sunshine Coast. That's a specific thing where they changed their ad, but what sits behind it has also changed as well, which is really important.
Well, Louise, hopefully we will get there. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
My thing, though, is as long as what happens is that we don't get discommensurate pay, because I think sometimes if it swings and we get all women, it actually can affect the pay. And besides, I want Louise to come and help us with the surgeons. I love you, surgeons. I love you.
You just want more women surgeons?
What are the numbers like with surgeons?
Well, I believe it's something like we have 40% women who graduate medicine, possibly only 5% are surgeons. They're working on it. I have to give credit to the surgeons. They are working on it.
So here we're working at 50% though, Sally, so good job telling what one.